Always a pleasure to speak with the best, and the best is blessed. He's Max Holloway taking on Ilia Topuria, looking to regain the featherweight championship of the world. Now, I'm curious about this. When you fought Justin Gaethje, that fight was built for entertainment purposes. You know, the BMF championship, as cool as it is to get that, I feel like when you're fighting for a division championship, you have to be a bit more strategic. Do you look at this fight that way, that you throw entertainment out the window a little bit compared to a BMF championship fight?
I mean, a fight is a fight, you know. At the end of the day, I felt like it was pretty strategic to go against Justin Gaethje. That guy's a dangerous man. So, world title, no world title. Ilya's a dangerous man. So, I look forward to stepping in the octagon with him.
All right, I'll rephrase the question because I think it's an interesting one. If you're up 3 rounds to 1, let's say, against Ilia, and you come down to the final 30 seconds, are you still going to point to the mat and throw down, or is the championship going to take priority over entertaining the fans?
For sure. I mean, why not? If the opportunity presents itself, why not? You know, this guy's going around talking about how maybe in the first 10 seconds he might go out there, point down to the mat and try and do my move against me. I don't think so. He understands what it is. You know, it's the BMF belt, the blessed man forever, or the baddest mother effer, if you want to say. It's not the DMF. You know, it's not the dumbest man forever. So, you know, he can try and do what he says he's gonna do, but he's not getting the gist of the point down just yet, I think.
You know, people talk about how young he is, 27 years old, but at that stage in your career, you had already, I think, defended the title once. Do you think people are making a little bit too much of his age versus the fact you're 32, you're in your prime?
Yeah, you know, age ain't nothing but a number. I mean, I was kind of surprised that ESPN MMA made that post about when I was his age and how I had five title fights already and five title wins, and then I was also on a 13 fight win streak. So, you know, at the end of the day, they're gonna push whatever they want to push with the age thing. People keep thinking I'm much older than I am just because you guys got to watch me fight since I was 20 years old, and I just can't wait to go out there and you know, face this guy, face to see what the hype's about. You know, come October 26th, I can't wait to get it done.
Yeah, I think people look at how young you were when you started. I mean, you're on the verge of becoming the second all time in terms of minutes in the octagon. I think that this fight goes like 6.5 minutes, you'll be in second place all time in terms of fight times. Does that mean anything to you in terms of the durability you've had over the years and still remaining in title contention despite a stat like that?
I mean, not really. You know, you can't sit around and smell the flowers just yet. You know, I did a lot of interviews with you. I got a lot more I want to do in this sport, and you know, once you start looking at what you did and all these stats that you have, then things start falling apart. You know, all I can do is attack every fight like I'm 0-0 and go out there and get it done.
When you say you have a lot more that you want to achieve in the sport, you've talked about this a lot over the years of the different things that you hope to achieve. But what are those things? Do you still have the same goals as you had? You know, I'd say 5, 6 years ago. You mentioned wanting to be just known as the greatest of all time, being a 2 or 3 division champion. Like, are those things that are still on your radar?
For sure, for sure. You know, and that quest all starts come October 26th. You know, I can't wait. You know, with Ilia being the champ right now, being back here, having the shot again to be a two-time featherweight world champion is great. And first things first is him, and then we can go and speak about everything else after the fight.
You've never missed weight, and it seems like every interview I watch of yours, people ask you about being on weight for fights. Why do you think this is a narrative that people continue to push?
I have no idea, bro. That is a great question. You know, I couldn't I couldn't tell you. You know, at the end of the day, everybody, I guess they're just gonna push a narrative that they want to. You know, coming back from 55, everybody was saying that I looked good. I looked big at 55. I mean, it's 10 pounds heavier. Of course, I'm gonna look good. You know, or I look a little bit different from when I'm a 45, where it's 10 whole pounds, and my height don't change. You know, just having extra weight at the height I am, I'm sure I look better. But you know, 35 was it was never a question. You know, I never missed weight at this weight. So at the end of the day, I have no idea. I have no idea why people come up with these with these outrageous claims.
Let's talk about your opponent, Ilia Topuria. What do you think is the best part of his game that you've seen? You know, he doesn't have quite as many fights as you had at this stage in your career when you were his age. But from what you've seen from him, what do you think is the best weapon that he possesses?
I mean, he's just good all around, right? Knockout power. He's not even he got he came in the UFC as more of a wrestler and grappler, but then he ended up knocking out guys, so he got knockout power. Just a complete fighter, man. I can't wait to go out there and test test everything, test everywhere, and see how I can match up against him. I guess there's a lot of questions in his game. There's a lot of questions in my game, and I can't wait to go out there and have fun.
When he beat Volkanovski, did you kind of breathe a sigh of relief because it really opened the door for you to get another title shot at the featherweight division? You know, with the 3 losses to Volkanovski, it was going to be tough for you to get another title shot. That being said, anytime people throw opponents at you, you seem to beat them, right? So eventually, like you say, you are undeniable at some point in time. That's the merchandise you're selling right now. I think it's a very solid term to use that describes you and your career.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna ever cheer for someone on someone's downfall. He did what he did against Volkanovski. I couldn't get it done. He did it. Good for him, and we're here. A week away from being able to shoot octagon with him, and I just can't wait for it.
All right, one last one for you that I'm sure you're not going to get asked by anybody else because I'm the only one who wants to ask questions about Canada all the time. But the UFC, 1 week after you fight in Abu Dhabi, is returning to Edmonton for the first time since you fought at UFC 240, headlining against Frankie Edgar. And I was wondering if you had any memories to share about fighting in Edmonton with the UFC coming back there.
I mean, Edmonton was cool, man. I loved it. After the fight, we got to enjoy the Edmonton Mall, where there's the water park indoor, so that was cool fun. But yeah, enjoyed Canada, enjoyed 10th Island. I'm glad that they're going back. You guys got a treat in the fight. Who? It's the 25ers, yeah. Is Moreno? Moreno's fighting someone, right? Brandon.
Yeah,
so, yeah, I think it's a great fight. I think it's gonna be fun and enjoy it.
The one thing I remember of your time in Edmonton was you going to the West Edmonton Mall and going to that candy shop, and you were so excited about the different varieties of candy that they had from around the world.
Yeah, I know. You can still, go to my YouTube. We still have the video up of me trying all the different candies that we bought there, so it was great.
Yeah, well, it's good to have the UFC back in Edmonton. It's good to have you there. And it's kind of weird because, again, if this fight eclipses 6.5 minutes, you're actually going to surpass Frankie Edgar as the second most time spent in the octagon, the guy that you beat in Edmonton all those years ago. So that's kind of a cool coincidence, but always a pleasure to watch you fight, Max. Great to speak with you. Good luck. Main event, UFC 308 in Abu Dhabi. Yourself, Ilia Topuria, for the featherweight championship of the world.
Thank you, brother. Law.